Welcome back to my channel. My name is Letice, and this is episode 2 of Science, Spirits, and Sweet Surrender. I'm keeping that actually. Cut that shit. So today we are going to talk about liberating rejections in life. Yes, you heard that right. Liberating rejection. Okay, so this is about a time when I applied to graduate school and got denied by every single program and discovered that sometimes God's no is actually not yet. For context, I was wrapping up my junior year with this incredible research opportunity at Michigan State University, doing nuclear physics and electrical engineering. They were grooming us as interns for the graduate school life. It was very immersive. They gave us a lot of wonderful tools. But early on, I was wrestling with something. It was the reality that my my gardening habit, was counterproductive at what I was trying to accomplish in these professional spaces. Thankfully, I had wonderful counsel, and they told me very bluntly, you don't know what you're talking about. You sound like you don't know what you're talking about. And that hurt my feelings, but that's exactly the medicine I needed at that time. Now, I did not stop smoking that summer, but I was more strategic with how and when I indulge. So if I knew I had a presentation coming up, I would say no to the smoke session. Naturally, everyone around me started anticipating the next logical step, graduate school. So apply. People kept badgering me about my plans after graduation, wanting me to map out my entire life based on hopes and dreams. But something felt spiritually misaligned with that. You know, like, if you don't really possess the money, how are you gonna make plans with the money? So how am I gonna map out my whole destiny based on that amount of uncertainty? Announcing what I desired before even knowing felt wrong, but I did it anyways because of the mounting pressures. I decided to submit my applications to 5 schools, 5 universities, unlike other people casting their net to 10, 15, however fucking many schools. But I was being a bit more selective. I wanted to ensure that if I invested 5 or more years somewhere, I'd be comfortable and equipped with what I needed. Now here's the fascinating part. Crafting my personal statement was rough. And not because of how many times I had to reconstruct it, but genuinely, I just felt like I couldn't be honest if I wanted to be admitted into these institutions. But of course, Spirit was summoning me to step out on faith. So I overhauled my entire statement, and I really just went with how I first got captivated by physics and how I yearned to actually transform the world with things that, in my opinion, actually matter. As someone who conducted research in material science, rocket science, quantum physics, and more, I had to be very transparent about something that was very uncomfortable. Most of what I was studying or doing research on basically was squandering struggling citizens' tax dollars, and I was not tolerating that. I had zero intentions on diminishing myself because that's how it's always been, or because as a Black woman in America, supposedly I don't deserve to feel confident while learning. I chose honesty over strategy. I chose authenticity over what I assumed they wanted to hear in my personal statement. And you know what unfolded? I got turned down by all 5 schools. And it wasn't even a clean rejection. Everyone on my social medias were receiving their acceptance letters while I was being ignored for an entire month. Until finally the denials started filtering in one by one. And you know what institution I heard from last? The one that I did my internship at. And they messaged me claiming that my application was incomplete, when I knew that wasn't true. They gave me the runaround just for the graduate program in the School of Physics to eventually inform me that I was definitively rejected. Yet in the midst of it all, I never felt more alive. Their rejections awakened me to my creative fire, my entrepreneurial spirit. Their no unlocked my mind to infinite possibilities and helped me realize something very profound. I was genuinely only applying because my internship anticipated that of me. Everyone around me expected that of me. But God had a different blueprint. See, those rejections weren't failures, they were freedom. They were divine shelter from a path I was walking out of obligation rather than excitement. They were my ancestors, my spiritual team whispering, "Not yet," because the Most High has something far more aligned with your true calling. And look at me now. I'm pursuing everything I actually crave. I'm operating an online thrift empire, creating content, catching up on rest, singing, dancing, telling people to shut the heck up. Some would say I'm in my villain era. And I think I'm just claiming space. I'm allowing my inner child and my body to feel heard, to be cherished. I'm weaving together all the different fragments of myself instead of shrinking into what academia or society demanded me to become. The experience illuminated something crucial about alignment versus achievement. And honestly, it's toxic to chase things just because you think it'll bring you. Yeah, that was toxic already. Like I was saying, it's toxic to chase things just because you think it'll grant you an edge, power, or status. You should be pursuing things that, you feel genuinely called to in your spirit. It's your purpose. I still intend to get a PhD one day, but in something where I am overflowing with excitement, Sometimes the most compassionate thing God can do for us is to seal doors that would lead us away from our authentic path. So, where in your life are you following expectations instead of your authentic calling? What doors have been closed that you're still trying to force open because you're not trusting the redirection? There was actually this beautiful lady on YouTube who once said, "Stop living your life like it's a to-do list." And that really captures this whole journey, because remember, divine timing doesn't always sync with human schedules. Your path doesn't have to mirror everyone else's trajectory. And sometimes the greatest blessing is discovering that what you thought you wanted was never actually aligned with who you're becoming. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. And if you want more conversations about trusting divine timing and finding your authentic path, make sure to subscribe.